and it's nothing short of the death of libertarianism. Libertarianism has been a way of thinking now quite powerful, quite dominant in the United States for a good bit of the last 40 to 50 years. In other words, most of the lifetime of most of you. And here's basically what this idea was: that an economy like ours, a capitalist, free enterprise economy, works best if the government stays out of it. Uh, Once upon a time, this was called, when the French embraced it, laissez-faire. That means in French, let it be. The government should let the economy be. Don't interfere. Don't make rules and regulations. Stay out of it. That the economy works best if individuals negotiate with one another, buying and selling, including selling their ability to work to an employer who buys it by paying them a wage, etc., etc. The economy will work best that way. Don't interfere. Don't interfere inside each country, and don't interfere internationally. Internationally, it had a kind of a sister name, if you like, called neoliberalism, or sometimes just globalization. But it was the same libertarian idea that capitalism is a wonderful system that works best if the government doesn't interfere in it. Now, for most of the last half century or longer, the chief beneficiary of all of this was the United States. And for no mystery reason, because the United States came out of World War II much richer, much more powerful than anybody else. That's why the dollar became the global currency. The United States produced a share of global output far larger than its share of global population. Wealth was concentrated here. The gold of the world was stored in Fort Knox here, not somewhere else, etc., etc. The United States was dominant. Nobody could compete with it. And so a free world, free for economic power to do its thing, was very advantageous to the United States because they had more dollars to play with than anybody else could even imagine. All of that is over. All of that is dead. The United States is no longer the dominant player. This hasn't been told to the American people because no politician wants to have the task of bringing that message. So the politicians evade it, avoid it, deny it. But I'm not a politician. I don't have to. And you would like to know what's really going on, or at least I'm going to assume that you would. So we're not in that position. And how do you know it? Because libertarianism, this whole idea of the government unnecessary, keep the government out, that is completely dead, and no one has played the role of burial assistant more than Mr. Trump. Let's take a look. Mr. Trump got up a few weeks ago and said, I am hitting every country on earth with a tariff. I am intervening. I'm shaping the market. I'm saying you can't just come here and sell your goods to an American the way you used to, negotiating with the American company or the American consumer how much you pay for how much you get. No. That's over. I'm telling you, you want to sell here, you got to give a tax to me, Uncle Sam, right here in Washington. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you produce. I don't care what the Americans do who buy your stuff. You want to sell here, you got to deal with the government. That's the opposite of libertarianism. Then he started giving money, actually following Mr. Biden, who did it also, giving money to selected corporations in the microchip business or in the solar panel business in order to shape their ability to compete with the Chinese. Oh my goodness, you're intervening directly. Then we started sanctions. Mr. Biden was good at that too. So this is kind of a bipartisan burial party for libertarianism. We need the government, it turns out. How do I know? Because the president tells us that. National security requires that I'm going to take what? The Panama Canal away from the people who own it now. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm going to take it. The government's going to come in there, and then I'm going to take Greenland. And I might make Canada the 51st state. This is massive government intervention, often justified by we need it. The economy is in trouble and will be fixed by doing this. Or national security. I'm not so interested in the reasons. We had national security problems before when we celebrated neoliberalism. We had economic problems before when we celebrated neoliberalism. The problems aren't new or different. It's the answer that is. And why? I'm afraid that answer is pretty obvious, too. For the first time in a century, the United States has a major economic competitor, the People's Republic of China. This is not an endorsement of the Chinese. This is not a statement that they don't have economic problems. They do. Everybody does. I'm talking about the fact that if you add up the output of goods and services per year, which is called the GDP, gross domestic product, and it's a statistic we keep for every country on earth. It's a rough measure of their economic footprint, how big, how important they are. At the end of World War II, the United States dominated everybody. The GDP here outranked that of all the other major countries, all of whom had been destroyed by the war. Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Russia, Japan, all of them, China too. But today is a completely different landscape. China and its allies, known as the BRICS, together account for more than 35% of the total output of the world. The United States and its allies, called the G7, they account for about 27%, not even close. China is the bigger, richer economic power. That's the reality. And when you add to that China and the BRICS have more than half the people on Earth population in their countries, whereas the United States is 330 million, comes out to 4.5% of the world's people, 50 to 60% over there, 4.5% here. Stop. We're not the powerhouse we were. And Mr. Trump is here to tell us we're going to use the state every which way. Are we going to allow freedom of people to move around the earth as best they can, looking for jobs? No. We may have become a powerful country by letting tens of millions come here, urging them to come here. That may be our history, but the world has changed, and Mr. Trump recognizes it. You don't have to behave the way he does to do that, but he has recognized it. So there's no more free movement of human beings. We are deporting people. People who've worked here for 20 years, who've paid their taxes dutifully, who've never had a crime attached to them, are being deported. We didn't used to do that, or at least most of the time, we didn't. We do now. We're tariffing everybody. We're sanctioning. The number one sanctioning country in the world is the United States. We go after people's property. We take it from them. We took $300 billion from Russia